Hello friends, the soldiers of the Soviet army had ingenuity and military cunning which more than once saved their lives. But for what purpose did the soldiers cook live ammunition? In 1979, the troops of the Soviet Union entered Afghanistan, who for 10 years worked against the Mujahideen, whose patrons were the United States. I don't know, is it true or not? Okay, so Soviet troops often faced problems in the supply of food and fuel, since convoys with all this were ambushed and burned. But not only this affected the provision of troops, as they say, to whom the war and to whom the mother is dear. So some officers and ensigns, heads of warehouses and services, launched extensive trade there. Weapons, ammunition, food and uniform were sold. While they were getting rich, dushmans used purchased weapons and ammunition against Soviet soldiers. Many soldiers were also forced to either sell cartridges or in most cases trade them for food. All this happens in local markets, ducats. Of course, they understood that these cartridges would soon fall into the hands of the Mujahideen and be used against them, so they were boiling before being sold. It was believed that with prolonged cooking for 3 or 5 hours, the cartridges lose their fighting qualities. They either do not shoot at all or simply spit out from the barrel and do not reach the target. A similar method was already known during the First World War. Even then, welded cartridges could not cause harm. The fact is that in those days the cartridges contained explosive mercury, which is hygroscopic. At the temperature of 90-95 degrees it began to decompose. As a result, the ammunition becomes incapacitated. But the Soviet soldier did not take into account the fact that there is no explosive mercury in modern cartridges, and they are not at all afraid of heat treatment. However, many soldiers unknowingly continue to cook them. This information is very often mentioned in books about Afghanistan, the authors of which are people who happen to visit this war. Who like the video from you, like, subscription, and I'm going to look for new interesting and unusual facts for you. Goodbye.